Are you in the low ranks of Granblue Fantasy Versus Rising? Maybe C rank? Perhaps B rank? Maybe even A rank? Are you trying to ascend to the next level, but are struggling to break through that barricade? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys 4 key tips to improving in Granblue Fantasy Versus Rising. I personally have been using these tips to go from S to S+, even grind some of my other characters from the B rank and A rank into the S ranks, and honestly, it's been pretty darn easy and a whole lot of fun. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so this first tip is a bit of a two-parter, so bear with me here. The first part of the tip is obviously stop jumping all the time. I know that jumping as a newcomer can be fun, since jump-ins are overhead and can lead to some good damage, and jumping is also faster than walking, and of course, as newcomers, we don't like to walk, we like to get in there, hit those buttons and get in really, really fast, right? Jumping leaves you wide open to getting anti-aired, which in most fighting games, that would mean maybe 1 to 4 hits depending on the game, but in Granblue Fantasy Versus Rising, getting anti-aired could mean that you lose 25 to 50% of your health, and some characters, under the right conditions, can deal up to 80% just off of one singular anti-air. And even if you don't get full comboed, those one-hit 2Hs can really add up over the course of a round, so, you know, try not to jump as much. I know jumping is fun, but if you notice that your opponent is very good at anti-airing, just stop jumping. It'll be much, much better for you in the long run if you just stop jumping. Even if they only do 1 hit, just stop jumping, okay? Stick to the ground, play footsies, throw out some special moves, and obviously the second part of this tip is learn your anti-air combos. Like I mentioned, anti-air combos in Granblue Fantasy Versus Rising are extremely good. You can do up to 25 to 50% for most characters, and some characters such as Siegfried, under the right conditions, can do like 80% off of a single anti-air, which is absolutely wild. Now, your anti-air combo doesn't need to be anything super complex or super difficult. In fact, you can even go into the training mode right now, go to the character guide section, and there will be anti-air combos right there for you. And if you practice them enough, you'll be able to land them very consistently and deter your opponent from jumping. Alright, so I hopped onto the game just that way I can show you guys in real time with real-time examples as to what exactly I am talking about. For this second tip, use the block button. Now, this is something that is very, very weird. Now, I understand new players not really using it, but I also see a lot of higher level players in the S ranks and even the S+ ranks not really using the block button at all, which is kind of weird. Like, it's a very, very strong mechanic. Not only does it save you from pretty much all the cross-ups in the entire game, it's also better than just doing down back, as one of the main things that people hold against block buttons is that, oh, you gotta wait for the block to go away and then you can start hitting buttons, right? Versus doing down back, you can just start hitting buttons. You can hit buttons all the time. You can hit all the buttons that you want if you're using down back. However, the block button in Granblue Fantasy Versus Rising is the same. You don't have to wait for the block to drop. As soon as something becomes punishable, you can hit a button. You don't have to wait for the block to drop. Another thing is that there are 2 exclusive mechanics tied to the block button. That is the spot dodge and the forward roll. The forward roll is very good for getting through projectiles, as is the spot dodge. One of the things about the spot dodge that is really, really good that more people need to start using is, of course, its defensive capabilities against really dumb shit. Now, there's a lot of dumb shit in this game. There is a ton of dumb shit. For example, here's Vera's medium DP. Now, this is Grand Vera DP. When she does this, it is safe. Someone block this with the block button, and I'm gonna try and punish her. I can't. I literally can't. It's not possible. We'll do it with a light button as well. Can't do it. Not possible. I cannot punish this move. Alright, some characters might be able to, but in general, Vera is very, very safe on this. Unless you use the block button and the spot dodge. So check this shit out. So just like that, I am able to punish a previously non-punishable move. Now, I do meme on this quite a bit when it comes to Vera's medium DP. I make fun of this a lot because a lot of people hold that. The majority of people will literally just hold that. Like, they'll just hold the DP, and then Vera just gets to continue her pressure. And that's not the only thing, right? This move is extremely powerful against pretty much all of the unga bunga pressure in the game. So yeah, use the block button. It is so good. It's good against zoners, it's good against rushdown characters. It's also the better version of the block mechanic. Like, it's just better in every single way. People need to use this a lot more. Like, there's no real disadvantage to using the block button. Also, one last thing about the block button real quick is it is extremely good to use against Raging Strike. Now, Raging Strike in general it's pretty good, but it's also very reactable, especially if you're using the block button and using the spot dodge. Not only does the spot dodge against the Raging Strike give you a much better punish than just mashing out the Raging Strike, it's just overall better for your resources, in my opinion. So we're gonna do that. Keep the recording going. All right. That, in my opinion, is infinitely better than just doing this. All right, so a lot of people online, they'll just do that. They get a small little itty bitty bit of damage when what they could do is they can use the block button and react. And then once they react to it, they can now get a much, much better punish on the Raging Strike. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for tip number 2. Use the block button. It is honestly the best defense in the entire game. Bar none. There is no argument here. It is the best defense, period. There's no real downside to using it. Just use it. Trust me, chat. It may be a little bit awkward depending on your controller type, but it is extremely powerful. Use it. Now for our third tip, let's talk about dash attacks. Using your dash attacks is an incredible way to keep the pressure up against your opponent, whether you're doing the medium, heavy, or light. Now, the most common dash attack that is being used currently is obviously the dash light, as it is plus on block, and it is very, very strong, especially in corner pressure, like I'll show you here. So generally, the basic idea of the corner pressure with dash light is that we will do a close light, which is +4, dash attack after that, which is +2, and basically it will look something like that. And that is something that a lot of people have a really hard time dealing with, because it is really hard to deal with since it's all plus. And dash attack overall is also extremely powerful. But don't get too caught up doing dash lights, as other characters have different dash attacks. For example, Zeta actually has access to a far-reaching low attack off of her dash medium, which leaves her +51, depending on how you space it. But it is an extremely strong attack. And after that, you can actually go in, dash, get your Oki, do whatever you want. Let's do it in the corner real quick. So let's say, oh, they wanna do something. We do one of those, and we get to run Zeta's Oki pressure as well. And of course, we can still do our dash slides. So yeah, pick and choose which dash attacks are best for you. Primarily, the one that you want for pressure is dash light. And then dash heavy overall will depend on the character. I don't feel like Zeta's is all that great. It's pretty okay, but it's not great. Her dash medium is definitely better, especially when we want to go for her corner pressure and Oki and all that stuff. But generally for most characters, dash light is extremely powerful. If you haven't already been using it, start using it. It is really, really strong. All the dash attacks are really, really good. But again, dash light is like a cornerstone of Granblue Fantasy Versus Rising pressure currently, so I do recommend using it at this current point in time. But also, pick and choose which ones are best for what situation, because if they're gonna constantly be blocking high or whatever, or if you see an opening for you to hit them low, maybe go in for those other dash attacks as well, as those will be very hard for them to deal with too. Alright, so far we've talked about general gameplay things that you can introduce into your gameplay to help you do better in your match. But now let's talk about something that will actually help you learn the game at an accelerated rate, and that is to watch replays. Yes, I know watching replays may not be the most fun thing ever, but you will learn something, and you will learn really, really fast as soon as you start actually paying attention to these replays. Whether it be tech for your character, things to do against other characters that you may be having problems with. So let's say you're having problems dealing with Saix, and then you watch someone playing your character at the master rank, and they're dealing with this stuff that you have so much problems dealing with. You can look up that stuff. So let's say right here, first character, let's go Zeta. Match result, wins. Let's check out the wins. Versus rank, top players, and that literally sets us to master. And then from here we can hit apply, and now we can check out all the different matches from all of these different Zeta players, all these amazing players, and you can learn something. So yeah, honestly, one of the fastest ways you can learn a fighting game is through watching better players and how they interact with the different characters, what different situations they put themselves in, what setups they use, what tech they have. You can really learn a whole lot just by checking out top players, Twitter clips, replays, literally anything. You can hop on Twitter right now. Like, I'm always on Twitter. Like, I'm out here watching freaking Shosan, like out here doing some crazy like Zeta setups and, you know, Zeta anti-air combos and all that stuff, and I'm starting to implement that kind of stuff into my gameplay. Like, yeah, there's a lot of things that I didn't know about how Zeta was played and all the different things that she can do. Learning all of these different techniques helps me improve my gameplay. As long as I'm taking a note of it, either physical or mental note, I'm improving. And that's honestly one of the best ways you can improve at a fighting game. Alright guys, that is it for this video. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did enjoy it, or if it did help you guys out, be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. It's been Casual.